Guys, thank you all for joining us. As we are waiting for our guests to come, I just want to tell you guys a bit about what this Deep Talk show is about. So, over some time, we've been thinking, how do we actually bring value to everybody who's been following this account and the work that we've been doing, not just myself, but the team in total, or as a whole. And one thing that we agreed was that, look, at the end of the day, there are people who have succeeded in many areas of life, and I have had the privilege of meeting people or getting in touch with people that most people ask me, Prince, what do they think? How do they think? What do they say? How do they say what they say? What are the things that they find themselves in, and how can we also do what they do? Hey, I'm doing well myself. Thank you very much. And so I decided to actually now then bring these people onto the platform so that together we can have a conversation and I can ask them how they got to where they got to so that we can all learn from their process. So that is why we are here. I'm not here to give you guys any nuggets of wisdom or anything like that. No, we are just here to have a conversation with people who have succeeded in their different areas and how we can actually emulate the lifestyle or the path that they have followed. So as we're having this conversation, please, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I'll be reading them. I'll be talking to them. We are not supposed to take long here. The concept is that we are just going to be quick, and we are going to be succinct in our approach. Why am I not in Fez? That's a very difficult question to answer. I rarely come to Fez, actually. I am mostly in Marrakesh, Casablanca. Benghazi has now become a part of the list. Frequently, I'm there. So yeah, but I hope to be coming to Fez soon. Please, if there's anything you need from me or anything that we can bring to you, any value that we can bring to you all the way in Fez, don't hesitate at all. So yes, that is the purpose of the Deep Talk show. We are here to just have conversation with people who have succeeded in their fields. All right, we are not here to have a conversation with people who are still, trying to start. People who have gone past the started phase and are here to actually share their thoughts with us. So if you guys will give me just a minute to just confirm. So our guest is here actually. We have Osama. Bring anything that is free. Hey, Brian.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm blessed, highly favored of the Lord.
Wow, it's good to have you here, sir.
Yes, good to, and thank you very much for also hosting me. I'm delighted definitely to join this live, and I believe it shall be an impactful conversation. And thank you very much also for creating time to host me. I'm really, really honored.
What a pleasure is all mine. I should have started by greeting you the Kenyan way. Habari.
Mzuri sana.
Miziri. Asante sana. Miziri. Asante sana. Yes. I have started practicing my Swahili, and I intend to actually keep doing that till it gets to the point where I can have a conversation with you in Swahili. So watch out. I'm coming.
Absolutely. You can get a coach via the Ajiry platform.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So there are a lot of people here on this platform. A lot of people actually came here, and I just told them the purpose of this platform. We are here to have conversations with people who've gone past the starting process, who are actually implementing and making an impact in the lives of other people. And we want to know what their path looks like, how they started, how can somebody be like them. So I really want to say a big thank you for joining us here. Before we even start the program, for those of them who are here, who don't know you, I have had the great opportunity to have an intensive research about you, about Ajiry, about Centum as a whole group. Can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
So my name is Mwau Brian, the lead developer of a platform called Ajiry. But before even we dive into that, I work for one of the East African leading investment companies called Centum Investments, where I head the cybersecurity division under one of its subsidiary called Tribus TSG. But then that besides, again, I am also Kenyan's top 35 under 35 and the youth innovation category. Also, again, I am now the lead developer of Ajiry. This is a platform that was launched back in the year 2019, May, just to help connect youth to their potential employers, or rather connect potential employers to their desired workforce. And this program has been, it's fully funded by the MasterCard Foundation, and we are going to soon dive into that.
Awesome. Awesome.
And above all, yes, I forgot to mention also, I'm born again and I love Jesus Christ as my personal savior, man.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. So that is a very important point to make, because we actually find ourselves in a culture where the different religions and everybody has a God, and it's very important to actually be vocal about your conviction and your belief. The question I have, and I've been asking myself, is when I look at you, the first thing I saw is Kenya 35 under 35. And I ask myself, man, there are over 40 million Kenyans, and you become one of the 35 under 35. Please do tell us, what makes you one of the 35 under 35?
I'd say first, it's by God's grace, and secondly, it's, you know, the ability to have a heart to help and to be able to impact my fellow youth. Use the skills that I have to be able to create employment opportunities for other fellow youth, as well as being able to, you know, practice the sense, or rather the what is it called? To practice the trait of excellence in everything that I do, just to make sure that, you know, there's no mediocre business. If it's time to work, it's time to work. If it's time to serve, it's time to serve. And if also it's time to play, it's time to play. And on top of that, you know, be able also to be able to mentor and replicate yourself in other people, share, you know, any common attributes that other people can be able to copy from and replicate from. And, you know, just be there to be a brother to either another brother or a brother to another sister.
Amazing. This conversation, I mean, when we started, one of the things I told the team is, or the producer, who is Chris Cocker, one of the best podcasters in Africa or in Ghana, I told him that 30 minutes is not going to be enough, because already there are too many questions that are coming up in my mind. But we're going to stick to the basic ones that everybody can learn from. The question, the next thing I wanted to ask you was Ajiry. I mean, yes, I have heard of the platform. I've seen the platform. You told me last time that you have a team of 100+ people working with you on the project. Yeah. My thoughts were, wow, what is Ajiry? How big is it? What is the future of it? What is the present of it, and what is the future of it?
Okay, so Ajiry is a Swahili word. So the original word is spelled Ajiri, and Ajiry means employ. Oh. Wow. So, but we trickled it a little bit just to make it sound English and to make it sound global. So we replaced the I at the end and replaced that with a Y. So that reads Ajiry. So the origin of the name means employ. And this goes back to the year 2019. So I graduated from the university in the year 2016. And thank you. So yes, sorry, I was just doing something. Okay. Yeah, I meant that, yes, I graduated back in the year 2016, and the entire year 2017 I was jobless. But towards the end of the, and also again, year 2018 is actually when I managed to get my first paid internship, which only lasted for 3 months. And then after that, I went again to being unemployed again. And at this time I was earning like around, I think 25,000 Kenya shillings. That's around, quick math, $250 a month. Not really sustainable. So, but for the 3 months I was employed, and after that I became unemployed. Then I happened to know a friend, a good mentor of mine, who had a real estate company. And he employed me to become one of the general managers in his real estate company. And my duty was more of just help him to close business deals on conversations he's already started. So I was more of, you know, just the errands boy, send me, go close the business deal. At that time, he was living with his family in Dubai. So anytime they would fly back to the country, I noticed that anytime he would fly back to the country, he will come and ask me, Brian, I need a plumber, I have a new TV, I need someone to mount it. And that was the inspiration. I realized actually the way the youth are like, really struggling to find the opportunities is the same way the people who have the opportunities are even also struggling to get people to work for them. And the reality is these people, the person who has the opportunity and the person looking for the opportunity, they will never ever meet, because that means if Mr. Alex flies back to Kenya, is on either his driver will pick him from the airport, or he will take Uber to his home next to the State House where the president lives. And the person looking for this opportunity is probably in a matatu. In Kenya, we call those big taxis matatu, or riding a bicycle. So these two people will never, life might never bring them to the same ground. Or rather, even if they present themselves, they might not be able to communicate in a language they both understand.
Yes.
So, but there's one thing that I realized could be able to link such people, and this is, leveraging on technology. So at that point, that's not where we started building the Ajiry platform, but that was a very good discovery that I made. So I happened to be shortlisted to be among Kenya's first top 40 students to be trained on the National Cybersecurity Program. And I was there with my fellow brothers and sisters who are gifted in the area as well. Because I remember we started with a class of 120 and we ended up only graduating 39 people.
Wow.
So that should tell you how intense that course was. It was a 6-month course.
Wow.
So during this time, I met people from different counties, guys who have done different courses, even in the universities. And at that point is when we actually started to discuss on how we could build a platform that could help connect youth to employment opportunities. So within 9 days, we put together the platform, and fortunately, my team and we all got to be employed by Centum Investment. And once we presented the idea to our boss and he presented it to the board, the idea was approved, and that's how we launched the Ajiry program in the Ajiry application back in the year 2019 May. And the intention here was to be able to look for opportunities. So our model is very different. So our model was, we didn't want to be like other, connecting platforms. So for us, my team and I, we do the assignment of looking for, going out and look for the people who have the opportunities. Then we come and look for the youth who can be able to match those opportunities. So we play it in an inverse model. Look for the opportunity, then look for the people who can be able to match the opportunity. And I remember starting, we always said as a team, even if we only make sure that only one youth has been employed in a whole week, that's a very big success story for us. And we started off very well. I remember within 5 days, we had over 50,000 users. I mean, over 5,000 users.
Wow.
So that was in May. Then in July, the same year, 2019, the president of the MasterCard Foundation happened to be, touring our nation to come visit the president because they were launching the Young Africa Works initiative in Kenya. So by God's grace, our group CEO, Dr. James Moria, managed to secure a sit-in with the global president of MasterCard Foundation, Rita Roy, just to give us an opportunity to be able to pitch the idea. Wow. So we went into a boardroom. I'm still fresh in the company. This is the first time I'm sitting in the executive boardroom, and we pitched. And, I shared the story of my experience working for my former employer in the real estate. And I remember after that statement, the global president of MasterCard Foundation reacted in a manner that she was actually impressed by, even, being able to articulate that story, create a problem, and create a solution. And then we got funded $1.4 million. As a grant. Yes, because we were still doing, we were still doing the recruitment and job placement in a very small setup. But now with the grant, now we are able now to stretch and impact more Kenyans across different counties. So that grant to date has seen us being able to set up Ajiry centers that in 10 different counties. In 10 different counties. So we have 10 Ajiry centers in 10 different counties in Kenya, which act as job centers. And why the Ajiry centers is because we realized that at the beginning stage of Ajiry, most of the impact were actually, just a moment, sorry,
Yes,
there is a little bit of noise on my background, but we are working to resolve that.
that's fine. That's fine.
And thank you. I believe now it's been sorted.
Yeah, it's fine. We are hearing you clearly anyways. It's fine.
Okay. So at that point, trying to recollect my thoughts as well.
Yeah,
so
why the Ajiry centers?
Yeah,
Beginning stage.
we analyzed and we realized actually most of the youth who have been connected to job opportunities actually happen to be from the urban areas.
Oh.
And the research that we did with my team was the reason that led to that is actually because youth in the urban areas had access to internet, had access to smartphones, unlike the youth in the rural areas who didn't even have access to internet.
Yes.
So the case study here was we need to give the youth who are actually in desperate need of these opportunities, who are actually in the counties, Kenyan counties, a privilege and an opportunity for them to have access to internet. Yeah. And maybe we might not give them smartphones, but we can give them laptops and desktops. So that's why we now build Ajiry centers, so if you walk in an Ajiry center, what you'll find is free internet connection, and then also you'll find access to desktops. And that means now the youth can be able to walk into the Ajiry center, be able actually to connect to internet for the first time and meet the brothers, us brothers who are already on the other side. And on top of that, be able to win jobs and be able to get jobs, be employed. And remember again, Ajiry, we are just a connecting platform. So for example, you are the employer and you have an opportunity for a youth. So what we are going to do, we are just going to look for a youth who fits your requirements, and we hand over them to you. Then you negotiate with this employee and you pay them directly. So as we don't come in to say we have to take a percentage from what the youth are doing. A commission, exactly. So, and then again, later, kidogo, COVID came. Kidogo means a little bit later. COVID came, and that had slightly interrupted the launching of the Ajiry centers, which are the job centers. And during that time, I remember sitting, Centum wanted to carry out food distribution. We had, come up with a good budget to just be able to reach out to families that were really affected by COVID, because there were a lot of layoffs as well across East Africa. So, but we had one problem. Carrying out food distribution in the midst of COVID is actually a challenging factor. And that would mean that because you cannot do it in the old school manner where you invite big crowds and you tell them come make a queue so that we give you food. That one you risk, the virus, spreading to the people. Yes. So what my team and I did, we designed a platform called the Zero Contact Distribution System. So what this system did, what the system did is it generated a message, a one-time message that could be sent to the beneficiaries that we've already highlighted, whether they are using a feature phone or a smartphone. You don't need to have a smartphone, as long as you can be able to receive a text message. So in the text message was the date when they should come to collect food, the place where they should come and collect food, and the exact timing. So that means we are able to distribute food without crowding, without crowding, because at a collection point you'll find maybe 10 to 20 participants or other beneficiaries only. And through that, we are able to actually reach out to 434,000 plus families across Kenya. And on top of that, again, we were able to create opportunities for the youth because of that innovative solution. MasterCard gave us another 35 million Kenya shillings. That's around 350,000 Kenya shillings, $350,000,
yeah.
just to be able to run the application and to support the county governments, to support the NGOs, parastatals who are willing to take, to carry out the food distribution. And we were able also to employ over 300 youth. From here, we have a National Youth Council that helps mobilize youth across from different regions in the country. So we were able to employ 300 youth who are, wow, helping us to carry out the food distribution. And, looking back and seeing the impact, I believe we have a documentary that we've been able to, just document all our impact for the last 3 years on YouTube. Someone can go and check Ajiry, AJRY, documentary, and you'll see the impact we've been able to achieve over the last years. Again, another success story, just to as I conclude, is Ajiry started as one person, being able to mobilize 4 more colleagues, and we sat together as a team of 5 and created a platform. And we had now a platform, and through MasterCard Foundation, we have now been able to employ 140 youth across Kenya directly.
Wow.
To work at the Ajiry centers. And then again, in terms of the youth who have benefited indirectly, in terms of those who have just gotten jobs over the platform, that is totaling to date since 2019 is 562,000 plus. So this is just a significance of the impact that, being able to leverage on the digital world, create solutions that are digital, and be able, even to lobby for grants. And remember, all the funding that we've been getting from MasterCard is fully grant, because, the foundation is not profit-based. And on top of that, we've been able now to make Ajiry sustainable. As we speak, the Ajiry program is actually 80% sustainable. That means even with or without the grant. Of course, we are still getting more grants. Actually, today I was hosting the MasterCard Foundation team. With or without the grant, the program can still run. And this is actually a model, because we were like, we wouldn't want Ajiry to become like those other platforms where you get donor funding and after the donor's gone, the program just dies. So we've been able to replicate. For example, a success story I can give you is we've been able to see thousands of youth from our National Youth Service. That's like a paramilitary training.
Okay.
Thousands of them, we've been able to see them transition into job opportunities. But then we realize anytime you employ a security guard, that will go with a uniform, it will also go with boots. So we went back to the NYS and we recruited tailors. Sorry. And we bought them the tools of work. So today, any company in Kenya that is employing security guards, we are also now supplying them the uniforms. So just to make the program sustainable, and we've been able to reach even greater, we started as private security guard companies, but now we're actually even doing corporate branding as well.
Brian.
Yes.
Oh my God. I know that all of you watching are as amazed as I am. Brian is a young man who is making an impact. Brian, I told you right from the beginning, time is not going to be enough. I have a question. Yeah. You have achieved so much with your colleagues, of course, and by the grace of God, as you always say, which I really admire. Young man all the way somewhere in Nairobi, or a young man in Accra, or Kumasi, or Lagos, or in Marrakesh, where I am, or Casablanca, or anywhere in Africa, who is asking, "Aish, man, he had no job. He now got a paid internship that paid this amount of money. And all of a sudden, Brian is now there. Brian that we all know. How do I become like you? What are the things I need to do? What is the path I need to consider to be able to get on this path that you are on?"
That's a very good question. And actually takes me back to 2018. Once my internship program came to an end, I realized I kept on praying to God and asking God, God bless me with a job. And I realized it was month 1, month 2, 3 months later, 4 months later down the line, I still didn't have a job. And, that drew me back to God. And I started questioning God as well. And I said, truly, if we serve a God who is always a prayer answering God, and I've been praying the same prayer for the last 4 or 5 months, and I don't have an opportunity, maybe it's the prayer that I'm praying. And I changed that prayer to, instead of God, please help me get a job, I said, God, I know there are so many people who are making such a similar prayer, but God, can you use me now to be able to create job opportunities for other people?
Wow.
That brought me to a level where I'm now, conversing with God and making a deal. And out of just making that prayer, it also changed my mindset, because I started questioning myself, what is it that I can be able to do to become a solution to a friend? And if I've become a solution to a friend, that means I can become a solution to a company, to a community, to a nation, and even to the world. And wow, just changing that mindset, actually I can say that was the beginning of taking those baby steps. And again, also you can have a very good mindset, but you keep on postponing and saying, I'll start next year. I told myself, if truly I want to see myself in the next somewhere in the next maybe 1 year, I ought to start tomorrow. And trust you me, the following day I woke up and I started knocking doors. I visited politicians, I visited business leaders, just showing up and presenting myself to them and trying to, knock those doors. And one day I happened to meet one of my mentor who passed away last year, but I showed up in his house and I was ready to work. And I told him, sir, I'm here because I'm ready to work. Any work that you'll give me, I will work. And from there is when I got my first job and, permanent job. And that's where I've been able to grow through the company to be where I am today. So just to cut all that story short is, don't be afraid to start, because if you fail to start tomorrow, you'll never be where you want to be, even in months to come. Just start. Wow. And trust God. Yeah.
Brian, our time is up, but I mean, let me indulge you in one more question before we go away. Okay. Or last but one question. And I know that you are a person whose time is very valuable. I value the time that you've given us. Thank you very much once again. Brian, what is the benefit of Ajiry to the African the population now? Somebody asked a question, how can I download the application? People are also on this platform looking for jobs. I mean, like you said, a lot of people are making the prayer, God, I need a job. You made a prayer, God, help me create jobs for people. Now God is using you. I know a lot of people all over Africa are trying to find jobs. Some people are even ready to move to Kenya. Some people are ready to, I mean, personally, I am because I came to your place in April, and my oh my, the food was in abundance.
We already got a house for you. Don't forget.
Thank you. So please, how can people actually use this application? What is the benefits to the rest of Africa whilst you've not yet moved here? How can we be a part of it? And even people who want to be a part of your work, how can they be a part of what you are doing?
I would say definitely Ajiry is a global initiative. It's only that maybe the impact so far has been greatly felt in East Africa, or rather this side of the world. But we're planning to make it global. We're planning, actually, I believe in the next 1 year, now we'll have presence in 7 countries. So, and the reason is because Africa, the youth are looking for job opportunities. And if truly we can make just, or rather connect one youth in Morocco to a job opportunity, that's a success story to us. So we are scaling up. We are now transitioning from the pilot stage. Remember all this impact I've been talking about. This was all pilot stage. Now we are transitioning to scale up stage. And that looks us to open the doors of Africa. And for someone to be able to take advantage of the platform, just go on the internet, either through your Safari browser or Google or, you know, Firefox as well, or even Brave browser, and type www.ajiry.com. Then from there, trust you me, you'll be able to sign up either as an employer or an employee. And then also, I must apologize on this. We are currently rolling out the newer version of the Ajiry application.
Okay.
And again, and that will be rolled out beginning of April. And because we are now presenting a global look, and a solution or other products that, you know, will be more user interactive. Remember, for the last 2-3 years, we've been gathering feedback, and my team of developers have been working day and night just to make sure that the product that we are going to relaunch end of this month is going to impact even those from other different continents. Yes. Let me stop from there.
Thank you very much, Brian. Brian, you made mention of the importance of mentors, and this is going to be a request personally. You made mention of the importance of mentors and how you are actually seeking out to create similar success stories all across the continent. Will you be willing to take just one person who will reach out to you immediately after this live? Will you be willing to accept that person, to mentor the person, have a periodic conversation with the person so the person can also have an idea what it takes to be a success and have somebody to look up to who will hold his or her hand into this whole journey of success?
Absolutely, yes. I do mentor a lot, and even I have a WhatsApp group called the Generation Aspire Mentees. So far, I'm mentoring around 235
awesome
mentees, and definitely, absolutely, I'll be more than willing to mentor anyone. Just get on my DM, send a message in case you need a few mentorship sessions. Of course, I'll be willing to share a few key points that one can be able to use, you know, and be able to, you know, come out, become better, and even become a solution to their communities as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brian Mwau. This has been an absolutely delightful session with you. I enjoy speaking to you. I enjoy learning from you. And I hope that the community here has also been able to derive some valuable lessons from this conversation as well. I know it's very late in Kenya, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'll just say thank you very much. And we wish you a wonderful night. Hope to have you on this platform sometime soon.
Thank you very much, Prince Tago. And definitely the work that you're doing is incredible, man. Being able to leverage and use social media to impact generations and be able also to create a mentorship, you know, program that, you know, someone can just click. You know, we live in a society where social media is feeding, you know, Africans with a lot of junk. And, you know, just being able to see brothers and sisters who are coming up with such amazing initiatives like you, man, makes my heart merry. And definitely we are looking forward. I'm looking forward to come again and again on this platform and share the information that, you know, I believe could be of help to my fellow youth as well.
Asante, sir. Asante. And asante sana to all of you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much.
Karibu sana. Thank you and cheers, man. Bye-bye.